Hello there. Well, welcome to the House of D. I'm D Square, and I haven't made a comic-centric video in quite some time. Of course, I usually deal with that on a little show that I, of course, host, the Omega Level Nerds. But one of those subjects was my displeasure with the direction or lack of direction that the X-Men comics have shown. I think that Hickman seems to have fizzled out somewhat, seems to have lost interest, and I don't have a problem with the direction, but again, the lack thereof. We got this House of X, Powers of 10 story that told us all about how the mutants need to prevent Nimrod from coming online, because if Nimrod comes online, then that spells basically extinction for the mutant race. This happened in several of Moira's lives. So spoiler alerts for X-Men number 20, written by Jonathan Hickman. Like I said, it's been a while since I have felt compelled to really make a video about it, but this issue absolutely made me want to talk about this issue and kind of what's going on and what I think we're going to see very, very shortly. Of course, everyone knows that the Hellfire Gala is upon us, and we're going to get the new X-Men team that they've announced. Polaris won that vote, so that's all kind of exciting. But before we get there, we get this actual piece of a continuation of the story that we all saw in the House of X Powers of 10. We actually get a good bit of that story, not just some of this random shit that we've been seeing with horticulture and the menage a trois between Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops, up in the Summers house in the blue area of the moon, the Ten of Swords, which left a lot to be, desired. We actually get some progression in that storyline. So that's why, right off the bat, before I get into spoilers, and I am going to get into spoilers, I definitely recommend X-Men number 20. It's been hard. I've been getting really close to, and I still am really close to the point of I may end my weekly pull list, and I may just go back to getting those, trade graphic novels, things like that once again. So I can understand if you haven't been keeping up with the X-Men, but again, this is one that you should, pick up. Because we get to see, in short, Nimrod does come online. But this issue does a lot of really cool things right? First of all, it shows us that Nimrod comes online, and it further goes to show us how he comes online. You may remember the scientist Gregor and her lover, her husband, that died during the House of X and Powers of 10 events, saved the Orchis Forge, which is this orbital space station that's orbiting the sun. That's where Orchis is doing their thing. They're going to make Nimrod. That's why the mutants attacked it back in the Powers of X House of 10 run. So here we are again. But what is set up here, and we've learned about this before, of course, Mystique wants her wife, Destiny, revived. And we've dealt with this already, and we've seen that Magneto and Professor X are kind of dicking with her in this regard. We also know that Moira has decreed that they are not to revive any precogs, because if they revive a precog, it's bad news. Of course, Destiny is a precog, and she has talked to Mystique in the past and told her that, if this happens and they refuse to resurrect me, then just burn it all to the ground. Fuck it all up, okay? Now enter X-Men number 20. We have Charles Xavier and Magneto wanting to send Mystique back to the Orchis Forge to destroy it. To do so, she is authorized to go to Forge, who is the weapons master of Krakoa. He makes all the cool tech and plant tech and all this crazy shit, like Forge does. And at Mystique's request, he builds her a bomb that will cause singularity. Singularity, of course, meaning a creation of a black hole. And this black hole will destroy, everything around it and then collapse on itself and be done. So he provides this to Mystique. She, has a conversation with Charles Xavier and Magneto about the stipulations of the mission, which of course is success, means that her wife Destiny gets revived. Failure means that they are not going to revive her. They send Mystique to the Orchis Forge through a gate with a singularity bomb. She sees that Nimrod is indeed, he came online. She sees that he has the essence of Dr. Gregor's dead husband. She sees this happen. Once he comes online, now of course she is disguised as like one of the AIM people, but when Nimrod comes online, he's like immediately, hey, there's a mutant. And so she is given up and a fight starts. She uses this singularity bomb. Now, when she does this, Nimrod uses his abilities to split himself. And then one of his copies, or actually it's not the copy, it was the original, takes the bomb, and this is, this has, General Gregor's personality, the guy that was just revived, takes it, and unfortunately this is kind of a weakness of the comic. It really doesn't explain well what the hell happened, but he basically took the bomb, it looks like, took it outside the space station at a safe distance, and sacrifices himself. Of course, we still have Nimrod because the copy is still around, but the sad story here is Dr. Gregor went through all this trouble to revive her husband, which she basically does, but his essence and memories are gone because he sacrificed himself to save the Orchis Forge. And so they end up killing Mystique. So her mission is failed, and she goes back, and she asks about her wife getting resurrected, and yeah, Charles Xavier and Magneto are like, yeah, nope, you failed, fuck off. So that's really interesting stuff. Really happy to get some sort of continuation of the storyline. We know that overall the mutants, all the struggles that the mutants can have, Nimrod coming online is what they needed to prevent, and is now immediately going to be their main concern, because we're back to the mutants versus the human/machine hybrid, which again, that conflict happened during, the 10 issues of the House of X, Powers of 10, 20 issues of X-Men, basically about 2 years, and the story is inching forward, which I'm glad for, but wow, we've been doing this a long time before really getting any progression of the story. What is very interesting, and this is just conjecture, I have no inside sources for this or anything, but knowing what I know of the situation, obviously Mystique cannot be happy about the fact that she went on this huge mission and failed. She's not going to get her wife back. But again, we were reminded in this issue that Destiny told Mystique to burn it to the ground if they won't revive her. So, like I said, the way they got rid of that singularity bomb up in the Orchis Forge is sus. I don't think Mystique actually took the real singularity bomb, and I think Krakoa is about to have a really bad day at the hands of good old Mystique there. And they do. This comic does a great job of selling you Professor X and Magneto being assholes, so I can't say that I'm not going to understand these actions, and that is very interesting. So, bravo, Jonathan Hickman. I wish we could just get this more consistently and in a better volume, and not just these little mini storylines out of nowhere that, really as a single issue don't make sense. We know ahead of time that because of it's Hickman that he is just dropping things here or there that we will then revisit later. But the problem is Hickman's not even going to be on X-Men anymore, although he is going to get to continue his story on a new line that, will continue. But as far as the main X-Men title, it's going to be taken over by Jerry Duggan. So, if the story is going to move this slow, you would at least think Hickman would still get the main line. So a little bit frustrating there, But the issue itself is great. The continuation, the progression of the mutants versus Orchis is great. Glad to see that. And, you know, it really does have some cool implications on what Mystique might do, because Charles Xavier and Magneto are screwing her. Big time. All right, there you go. Well, hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please like and subscribe. Tell me what you think of this issue. What do you think of Hickman? Tell me what you got. I'd love to hear from you. If you like nerdy talk, don't forget, you can check out Omega Level Nerds. Just search Omega Level Nerds here on YouTube. You'll find our channel. We stream every Sunday night between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. So hope to see you then. Until next time, though, as always, peace and love, and I'll talk to you again soon.